Hello. In this C++ programming video, I will be covering how to get user input using sin. In the last episode, you learned how to declare variables and display information with cout. Now let us make your programs interactive by letting the user enter information themselves. What is sin? Spelled CIN. This stands for console input. It allows your program to wait for the user to type something and press enter. That value gets stored in a variable so your program can use it. Think of it like filling out a form. Your program asks a question, the user answers, and the program remembers the response. Here's a simple example where we ask for the user's age and display it. So as you can see, I already have include and then the main function just as the previous episodes, but now let's fill in our main. So first let's define an int called age, and then we're going to ask the user to enter the age. So we're going to do that by std cout, enter your age, and then here we're going to do colon, semicolon, and then we're going to ask for the age. So std cin, and then age. Next, we're going to print out what the user actually entered. So we're going to do that with std cout, and then you entered space, the age, and then std endline. So as a breakdown, on line 4, we declare a variable called age to store the user's input. On line 5, we prompt the user to enter their age. On line 6, we use sin to read the user input and store it in the age variable. And then on line 7, we print the value the user entered back to the console. Let us compile this and run it. So again, terminal, new terminal. The command is g++ user input.cpp space then -o for our output argument, and let's call it just input. And that's run our program with period / input. Enter your age. I'm going to put in 25 and then enter. And then it says you entered 25. Note we didn't put end line here on line 5, so where you actually enter your age, it's on the same line, just for aesthetic purposes. Okay, now let's do another example here where you for multiple inputs at once. So you can ask for more than one input for one time. So we're going to open our new CPP file. As you can see, again, I already did the function and include. So we're going to define two ints called A and B. Then we're going to ask the user to enter two numbers. So std cout, enter two numbers. And then we're going to actually get those and assign them to the user input. So sin A, B, and then std cout, you entered A, and then and B. As you can see, you have to take into account the spaces. So let us now compile this one. So with g++, multiple inputs .cpp -o, let's call it multiple. And then let's run it. Enter two numbers, let's do 6 and 7. No, I'm separating them by spaces. And then it says you entered 6 and 7. So this works as intended as well. Okay, now our final example. Here, you can also get input for other data types. So let's do that. First, let's assign a float called price. Next, let's assign a char called grade. Then and then a boolean is passed. First, we're going to ask user to enter a price. To make it a little easier to see, let's do that. SCD sin price. Next, let's ask the user to enter grade, maybe your grade. And then we're going to take the grade in. And then finally, we're going to ask the user if they passed. And then we're going to get whatever they say. Again, 0 or 1. 0 for false and 1 for true. And then now we're going to just print out the results. And that's copy and paste to make it a little quicker. And then return 0. As you can see, this program is a little longer than the previous ones, and it's all in one space. So it's good practice to separate your code, just so it makes it a little more readable, like this. Okay. So for the Boolean, again, as I said, entering 1 means true and 0 means false. So let's compile this. So this is called other data types.cpp. Let's call it just other. It's going to take a second, and then we can run it. Enter a price, let's say $19.99. Enter your grade. Got an A. Did you pass? Yes, I did, so 1. So again, as you'll see, it prints out the price, your grade, and whether you passed or not. Some common input mistakes. Forgetting the and symbol is a common mistake in some languages, but in C++ with sin, we don't use it. Just sin and then the 2 brackets, caret, and then the data type is correct. If you type the wrong data type, your program may behave unexpectedly. For example, typing letters when expecting a number can cause problems. That's something we'll deal with later down the road. But for now, stick to entering valid input matching the data type. In this episode, you learned how to use sin for user input, how to store input in variables, how to get input for different data types, and how to avoid common input mistakes. If you found this tutorial helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment. In the next episode, we will start exploring basic arithmetic operators in C++ so you can perform calculations based on user input. Reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you for watching and have a great day.